Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another video. This is the team selection video for Game Week 2. Exciting. There's been a transfer. I have to come out clean. But as I said on the previous video, if there's a price drop, there's going to be a transfer. And here it is. It's been a transfer on the second game week already. No 2 free transfers next week. So this is not ideal, but had to be made. Had to be made, and I'm going to explain why. And you know what? I'm going to jump straight into it because I'm trying to keep these videos shorter. It's impossible. And you know, you've seen, those of you who follow FPL content, you know that you think of doing a 10-minute video and ends up in half an hour. So let's just go to the fantasy app immediately. Go to fantasy, not waste any time. I think I spoke a lot on last week on the last video. So let's just go straight to the pick team. And let me show you. Here it is. Boom. The transfer has been made. As you can see, Robinson is there. Came in for Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa dropped in price Wednesday night, and it's the Wednesday night actually that it was 1 after midnight. I had a vision. I made a decision. I was very comfortable with my decision. I thought even more long term. I was comfortable with my team. I was comfortable with probably not playing wildcard anytime soon because I'll explain later. I had like this whole. I'm gonna explain my whole train of thought. What happened, okay? So, I brought in Robinson for Kwanzaa, obviously. Kwanzaa dropped to 4.4. Could I have saved the transfer and keep Kwanzaa? Yes. But as I said again, there's so many good 4.5 defenders that is just I didn't want to miss out. I know it's using a transfer so early. It's not ideal, as I said earlier, but you know, it had to be done. And it had to be done because, again, many good, very good 4.5 defenders who can rotate with the other defenders as well, very well. And it's funny that everyone panicked. You know, Kwanzaa was going, he was so far from dropping on Monday, I think, and suddenly on Wednesday. That's why I said if he's close to price drop, I was expecting him to drop maybe by Friday, not so early on Wednesday. But this is, you know, if no one had panicked, this is the funny stuff. You know, we're dependent on what the other managers do. If no one had panicked, and even if a couple of people had, you know, had to sell him because of the rest of the defense, because there were people who went with Salah and Haaland, for example, so I assume they needed to get a proper replacement. But even if they did, and the rest of us wouldn't panic, then we wouldn't have had a price drop, and we would have to assess that over the weekend, because he might start. That's the funny stuff. Everyone sold him, and he might start for Liverpool and still turn out to be a great asset, but you know, it didn't. Or it wasn't meant to be because everyone sold him already, and now it's 4.4. And I don't know what his ownership is at the moment. I haven't checked. But let me take you through the train of thought that I had on a Wednesday night, 1 after midnight, thinking about fantasy and thinking if I should pull the trigger on Kwanzaa. So first of all, the first thing that I thought in my head, I envisioned like the team in 2 separate categories, okay? The unmovables and the movables. And this is where having double Arsenal defense helped me feel more comfortable in my team, and even not thinking about playing the wild card, even though I had planned to play the wild card pretty early, maybe game week 3 or 4. But this, I am so comfortable with Arsenal defense that I'm like, okay. So what I mean by unmovable and movable, it's basically the players that, you know, you don't need to move unless they're injuries. The players are going to stay there. Doesn't matter the fixtures. Doesn't matter anything, okay? So let's start in the defense. Let's start with the goalkeeper, for example. Raya, super comfortable. I know a lot of people didn't go with him. What's his ownership? 25%. That's not even low, but I think that's a lot of not very engaged managers have him, because if you look on the FPL Twitter and among content creators, everyone has either Henderson or Flecken. So having Raya there, just I don't even have to. I never have to think about a goalkeeper. You know, he's probably going to win the Golden Glove again, and Arsenal are probably going to keep more clean sheets than last year. So set and forget, as they call him, unmovable, right? Goalkeeper done. Let's go on the defense. Saliba again, unmovable. He played every single minute of every single game last season. I expect him to do the same this season. If he's going to be rested, it's going to be in a cup or anything else. Okay? Unmovable. Unless he gets injured. Then this works for any of the players. So there's two unmovable player. Gvardiol, unmovable again. Because I don't see any other City defender being more nailed on as Gvardiol. And I don't see any of them being less injured than Gvardiol because he's young, fit, doesn't have a history with injuries. So there's three in the defense that are unmovable. Now, Robinson I have Hall, and I have Barco. Barco is going to have to go because he's apparently linked with Sevilla, or I think it's done deal already. So he's going to leave to Sevilla on loan, but because he's going to sign for a new club, he's going to price freeze, so it's not going to drop in price. And we can ship him later. He was meant to be the 5th on the bench anyway, so we can ship him later. Follow me here, okay? Stay with me. I know it's a lot. But now we have Lewis Hall and Robinson, and if Barco goes, you bring another 4.0 defender that can rotate. But between Robinson and Hall, so Hall, for example, he can lose his place. What do? Get Enzri Konsa. Okay, so now you have two 4.5 very good defenders who can rotate between them. And you have three, including the goalkeeper, who you don't ever have to think about it again. Ever. Because they're unmovable. So that's the defense and the goalkeeper sorted. And and there's so many other options that are becoming, for example, Mazraoui, Man United. There's so many other 4.5, the Aston Villa ones, the wingers, the wingbacks, both Cash and what was the other one? Jesus, I always forget. Dean. Oh my God, no, he's an FPL troll, so I wouldn't go there. But anyway, it just says a lot that there's so many good 4.5 defenders, and I'm forgetting one or two better names that I had in my mind. So the 4.5 defenders not only can rotate between them, but you can also, just because you don't need to move Gvardiol, Saliba, and Raya, you only need to move them. So if something happens, like let's see one of them, another 4.5 defender suddenly becomes an option, you sell the least favorite one between Robinson and Hall to that one. And then you keep doing that for the rest of whenever you play the wild card, right? So you just sell a 4.5, get another 4.5 before they have a price rise or a price drop, obviously. So basically all of the transfers you can use in the future just to change the 4.5 defenders. Because let's go on the midfield, right? The midfield, and this is my weakest link in my team because I invested heavy in the attack and defense. But let's say, okay, Saka unmovable. I'm not gonna sell Saka. He's an FPL genius. He's so consistent, brings points. It's just never an Arsenal. You know they're challenging for the title, so there's no need to worry on Saka unless there's an injury. Diogo Jota, until he's starting for Liverpool and it's an option, he's gonna stay in my team. I mean, people are bringing him on. He's maybe about to him and Havertz are the two players closest to a price rise, the first two players. So he's due a price rise because people are bringing him in. So great asset. And if he loses his place by any chance, he can be downgraded to Eze, who I don't have on my team. And all the other options I'll tell you now, okay? So let's just go through it. Garnacho, great asset for 6.5, I think. I think better than Kunku. I'm happy that I went with him because he's going to start all of the Man United game, I feel like. So he's going to start at Brighton, I'm assuming. And he can be great. He's so involved in attack, so you can get goals, assists, anything. But let's say he's going through a rough patch, not have a good start, or like Nkunku suddenly just having a blinder. Boom! Sell Garnacho from Nkunku, so you have Nkunku on your team, right? These are I'm talking about the players who you're probably fearing, if you don't have them, fear of missing out because they might, like Eze and Nkunku, highly owned players. Smith Rowe is Smith Rowe, 5.5. He can switch to Minte. He can be switched to someone else. So it doesn't matter. He's just an enabler there. And I have Rodgers, who after Arsenal, let me see here. Look at this. After Arsenal, they play Leicester away, Everton home, Wolves at home, and Ipswich away. So he can be a starter from next week and on, right? Amazing. Now on the attack. So on my midfield, as I said, Saka is the only unmovable one in my term because Jota can lose his place. I mean, as I said, if he's fit and starting, he's going to stay there. But if he starts being a doubt, he can be moved. Garnacho the same, can be moved. Smith Rowe can be moved. Haaland, unmovable. So you have a core of Raya, Saliba, Gvardiol, Saka, and Haaland who are unmovable. Solanke, very movable. Depends how he goes, especially that their fixtures, after Everton. I mean, if he doesn't get something against Everton, his days might be numbered. Because Newcastle away, Arsenal home. Yeah. Let's see about that. But movable. And Isak, potentially movable. I mean, if Isak is starting and staying fit and returning, obviously, he's going to stay there. But if none of those happen, then you see this, you can downgrade. Let's go to transfers here. So if I downgrade Solanke, let's say he's not, yeah. The expectations were high on him, but he's not delivering. So let's say you go for João Pedro, or even, for example, look, there's some players. Edin Nketiah is about to go to Nottingham Forest, and he's probably going to start because they wouldn't pay £30 million to bring him as a substitute. And it's 6.0, I think. Let's go to Nketiah 6.0. That's for a starter who can be very prolific, you know. It's just a shame that he plays for Arsenal, and right now they're challenging for the title and there's no space there. That could be a good option. Armando Broja is another one from Chelsea who is leaving to Ipswich. And he's probably going to start. He's 5.5. So now suddenly I have 2.0. But that could be João Pedro or any 5.5 or a 6.0, right? By downgrading that. Now I have 2.0. You can go for Bruno Fernandes or Odegaard. If you're going to go for 10, then you can downgrade Rodgers or Smith Rowe for another. So you see, there's so much fluidity in the team. For example, Isak. Let's say he's having a rough patch or injured or not. If you downgrade him, you get even more money to a 5.5. Right? And then even if you want Salah, let's say here, let's put here for the sake of it, just to play. It could be any other 6.0, right? So you have Nketiah, who is banging in form. We're assuming that for Nottingham Forest. And then let's say you get another. Who can be an option? Havertz I can because I have double Arsenal defense. But if you don't, that could be great. Mateta or anyone else. Tony, not an option. Xerxes. Let's go by how much is the most highly owned. So Watkins. You can go to Watkins, obviously. You'll still have money. I have 10. But João Pedro could be anyone. Muniz. Look at it. I mean, anything. But let's just go for João Pedro, right? See, now you're in attack. You have Holland, who is there, always going to be. And then between Nketiah and João Pedro, you can rotate. Now you have 4.5 in the bank. So you can even go to Salah if you wanted to. Or you can't. For 0.5. But you'll get to 0.5 anyways. But you get my drift. Like, you can even reach to Salah and have both Salah and Saka and Holland. That is crazy. But let's say you go for Son, or Palmer becomes a great option again, starts banging. De Bruyne, Foden. Now you have 2.5 to spend, so you can upgrade Garnacho to someone else, 9.0. Or you can down Rodgers to someone else to 7.5. It could be Eze and keep 0.5 in the bank. So you get me, right? So, and you're only going to need to make a midfielder or a striker transfer every now and then, because they're not going to, like, most of them. For this week, for example, this is my starting team, right? So I got Raya against and Saliba against Aston Villa. I get it. Most people are saying, oh, difficult game, but I don't really care. I trust Arsenal defense anyways, and they might keep a clean sheet. Robinson at Leicester, great game. Guardiola, Ipswich, no-brainer. Saka, Aston Villa away again, can get something. He's Saka, one of the best wingers in the league. Diogo Jota, Brentford home, very good game. Can get something out of it. Garnacho, Brighton away. Brighton look good, but you never know. I mean, they're not the most defensive team in the world, so Man United can get something. Garnacho can get involved. Smith Rowe, Leicester at home again, great game. I think he played actually pretty well. People saying no, he didn't have the best of games. I think he played pretty well at away at United. I mean, first game of the season, we're expecting you're playing away at Old Trafford. Haaland captain. If you want to triple captain him, I don't think it's crazy because we're not going to have many double game weeks this season, maybe 2 maximum, and we have so many chips, plus that mystery chip that is going to become available in January. So if you want to triple captain Haaland, I don't think that's a bad shout, but I'm just going to captain him. I'm not ready to play that chip so early. And then Solanke got Everton at home. That's his, I mean, don't want to lose patience so early, but I hope he gets something out of that. And Isak, Bournemouth away. And on the bench, I have Hall to cover in case somebody doesn't start. And Rodgers against Arsenal and Barco, third defender. So that's it. This is my team for next week. But I just want to show you, like here. Let's say for game week 3. And look what we have. So, look. I got I have to sell Kwanzaa for Robinson here. It's gonna say that I don't have money because I already sold him. So by next week, I'm gonna have Raya Brighton at home, Saliba Brighton at home. Hall has Tottenham at home, or I can just where is Guardiola? Why is Guardiola on my bench? There's gonna be Guardiola West Ham away. Robinson or Hall can play, either one. I could sell Hall, for example, but I'm not because I have good cover and probably say roll the transfer. Saka has Brighton at home, great game. Diogo Jota Man United at home. I mean, not the greatest of games, but he can score there. Garnacho has Liverpool at home. Now, yes, I could play, for example, Smith Rowe instead of Garnacho and play both Smith Rowe and Rodgers. Rodgers has Leicester away. That's not a bad game, and he looked decent. So I could play those two, or I could risk Garnacho. I mean, it doesn't matter. Garnacho is a great player. And Liverpool, not the Liverpool of old. They're not going to beat United 5-0 away. Haaland, West Ham away. Solanke, probably going to stay there for one more week, even if he blanks. Newcastle away, and Isak is Tottenham at home. I don't know who am I going to captain. Saka seems actually like a very good captain shout. But Haaland could be a perma captain. So you never know. You see, don't need to make any changes. Go next week. And then Arsenal has Tottenham away, so they might concede there. But you can also always play Hall, so only keep Raya anyways. And again, see, Robinson, West Ham home, good game. Guardiola, Brentford home, good game. Saka is Saka. He can score against anyone. Liverpool has Nottingham Forest at home. Smith Rowe, West Ham at home. Rodgers, Everton at home. So they all have, you get my drift? Like, it's such a balanced team that now, by this point, I'll have 2 free transfers. So even if somebody becomes, let's say Eze is having just scoring left, right, and center, I can downgrade Jota or downgrade Solanke and get Eze for Smith Rowe, for Rodgers, or for Garnacho, etc., etc. So this is my thoughts on the team. This is my team again for this week, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy. Of course, this is one bad game week away from just becoming a, oh no, it's Armageddon, I have to play the wild card. That's every year. But if you have a team like similar to mine, I think most of the nailed players, we all have the same ones. Yeah, anyways. But just try and have this, 3 to 4 game weeks vision and plan, like, if something goes wrong or if a player suddenly becomes a great option that you need to have, like, who are the movable players and how can you, like, which one, for example, like with Solanke and Isak, it's good to have both, because let's say one of them gets injured or you want to downgrade, one of them is having a bad game week, there are good options for cheaper. You can downgrade them, upgrade somebody in midfield. My defense, I feel like this is the good thing. I insisted on having double Arsenal defense from the beginning, and now I have to miss out on Havertz because of that. But the good thing is that no headaches, because Saliba always going to start and most likely keep clean sheet every other game. Gvardiol most likely is going to start every single game and very high on clean sheets percentage. And same with Raya. So I have 3 of there that I never have to think about, basically, until I play the wild card. And then I rotate all the 4.5 defenders all the time, and I can sell one, get Konza, for example, or get Mazraoui or whoever it is out there. That becomes suddenly an option, a great option. And then in midfield, as I said, don't want to repeat myself 500 times, but you can just, upgrade somebody in midfield by downgrading a striker. So, this is the team selection. Good luck on game week 2. See you on Monday or Tuesday for... I don't know if we have a Monday night game this week. I think we do now every week these last few years. So probably on Tuesday is going to be a team review video. And then repeat like this Tuesday and Thursday for team selection. Good luck and have a great game week. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and all of that. And thank you. Come back. See you next week. Bye. Subscribe. Come on. Just do it. I'm waiting. Just do it.